Hello, and welcome again. And like we said on yesterday, y'all, we back with the jump off. We back again.
I cannot believe this is our third date in a row.
What? Back to back. Okay.
We are consistent.
So as you already know, we're gonna do the same thing every time. Welcome first to our channel, the Shun&Ken channel. And as you know, I'm your girl Shun.
And I'm Ken.
And we are your gossiping duo sisters, okay? So we're going to bring it to you like it is. And as you already know, we are talking about Avatar Monica. So if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and do yourself a favor and us and hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, okay?
And
we are trying to be like the next Avatar.
Right, we definitely are, because according to Miss Monica, she broke the internet, but like
the internet,
like the rabbit hole girl said earlier, girl, it ain't broke because I'm still up on it. Okay,
yeah, she broke the internet. So without further ado, come on, Ken, let's get into it.
Monica, girl, when this show opened up, I had already told you yesterday that Monica was not coming alone.
Right.
Now, not only did Monica not come alone, she had a lady by the name of Dr. Griffin, PhD. I want to fact check that, but
that
PhD,
part,
Miss Dr. Griffin, and my first, perspective of the whole thing was, maybe this scripted.
Very.
Dr. Griffin had cue cards in front of her, and Avatar Monica was off screen reading the script down to the T.
Yes. Yes. So I think the first 5 minutes of the video, I believe, she's looking off. You can see, because she doesn't have an avatar, she's showing her face. And she looks off, and you can tell that she's reading. Now, here's my thing. I don't think that that's a bad thing, because you get your thoughts together, you write down things, blah, blah, blah. Right. My issue is that it was too much of a Olivia Pope thing for me. It was nobody's but Monica's words, in my opinion. So before we get into the the tea, what would you rate this from a scale 1 to 10, 10 being the highest? What are you giving this interview? Because she broke the internet.
Oh, the internet is broke, honey. I'm gonna go ahead and give Miss Monica a 3.
A 3?
Yeah, wow. I'm gonna give her a 3 because, Monica, I expected so much more from you. Not only did you open up this interview with some shenanigans, you ended it with a clown.
And oh my God, we ain't gonna jump too far. Hold on.
So now
I agree.
Now let me say this. I am a non-biased person. I don't have a dog in this fight, and I can say I see both sides. I can see both sides, because I see where Monica come from. I see where Playas is coming from.
Out of this entire interview, and I give her a 4.5. And the 4.5 is the miss at the end. Right. That's why. I gave her points for that. I'll go ahead and round her up to a 5. And I gave her points for the mess at the end. But once we get to the end, I'll explain that a little bit more. So now, Ken, open us up from the beginning of this crazy interview.
So this I would tell you, this gave me some ghetto Barbara Walters vibe. Like it felt like Dateline. You know what I'm saying? Like when this first came out, I was just like, I just couldn't believe what I was looking at, Yeah. And Monica came on here like she was being accused of murder. Like it was just set up. It was just set up like, oh my God, everybody says I'm so nice, and everybody says this, and everybody likes me, and I try to help people, and I came up with this, I came up with that. Number one, Monica, you don't want to show your face, but you gave out Playas' full government name, and I don't appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So let's jump right into it.
Wait a
From
minute.
the beginning,
this whole thing was a Bash Players talk.
It was
And when
definitely Bash Players, and a little bit of Bishop too. Let's sprinkle in some Bishop.
It was a little bit of Bishop, but it was more of Players. And when I was listening to it, I was thinking to myself, well, girl, when you go get to the other stuff, she never talked about the other people leaving. Like, she mentioned Players leaving, and she went over what led up to that, even though I didn't think she needed to reiterate what happened. We were all here because we all knew what happened.
We saw it.
But I guess for those who don't know, of course, you got to give a little bit of backstory. But girl, it's been going on for the past week, so everybody should have caught up to prepare for this moment right here. So she wasted 30 minutes of our life giving the backstory, and then she just went on about Players. Now the comments, from what I heard and what I saw in the comments, she had her members only mode on.
Mm-hmm.
And people were paying to be members just to comment, and all the comments were not in favoritism to Monica. I can tell you that. Mm-hmm. They were not all favorable to Monica. So I was kind of glad to see that Monica wholeheartedly played the victim.
Definitely. So I wrote some notes, y'all. And I wrote notes purposely.
Okay.
And I want to start where, Monica was talking about how, and we've said this in our last two videos, that their stories do align. We said it. Mm-hmm. They stories align. And Monica made the comment that she said that she was going to call her back. And she did put her in the text because Friday was her last show.
Mm-hmm.
And she was thrown off by the fact that, she came up and did this did this live and said that she was leaving, blah, blah, blah. But she was like, I was under the impression that you was coming back. So I put a pause in the calls for that one moment. Mm-hmm. If we're business women, and as you want to keep letting your moderator say this over and over again, the CEO and the founder of, how many times did she say that? But we'll get on it later. You had her to say that 90 times in this 1 hour plus video.
And how you've been doing this for 8 years.
And that part, I got tired of hearing that. Mm-hmm. So as a businesswoman and a CEO and founder, do you think that it's fair to leave something open and on assumptions? You said yourself that y'all hadn't talked in 2 weeks. And then the time you did talk, it wasn't long. If I go for an interview today and I'm interviewing with Ken, and Ken say, yep, I really like you, we can work out this, and this. And I ask you, okay, well, what's the pay? It don't matter if it's you two sweeping the floor or I'm your accountant. It don't matter what the job is. We're going to talk about pay.
Right.
You're going to tell me I'll get back with you. Okay.
Now,
2 weeks go by.
Let me ask you this. I don't mean to cut you off. So when that was brought up, Monica said, I thought to myself, why the hell would I pay you the same thing? Monica, why didn't you just say that over the phone?
And I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for saying that. And that's another thing. So what I was about to say was, if I go and get another phone call from Let's Chat Enterprise,
and
they say, well, I want you, and I'm going to pay you $500, to do only 2 hours a week. Ken ain't got back with me. So you telling me I just supposed to wait on Ken? I'm going to take the job.
Okay, so I agree with that. You take the job. But if you gave your current employer the 2 weeks notice, why wouldn't you not show up? Even though I ain't got back with you, that's just about future endeavors. But you told me you was going to be here to now. Mm-hmm. Future endeavors we haven't discussed. But if you told me that you was going to be here until now, I would still expect Players to show up. But then Dr. Griffin mentioned that Players said in her video that she had no intentions of ever showing up for that last show. So
I think they really did twist words around to work in Monica's favor.
Okay.
And when Ples said this is how I took it. Week 1 has went by. Okay, week 1 in 2 days has went by. My mind is made up. Okay, I thought I was gonna do this. I'm like, I figured out I don't want to do it anymore.
I get that part, but if you put in your 2 weeks notice, we can't worry about what's past me paying you for 3 weeks from now. But you told me you was gonna be here for this,
and she was there. Monica said herself that she didn't see it because the 28th was going to be her last show.
Right.
That's Monica's words.
Okay.
Those were her words. She didn't send Ples the link purposely because Friday was her last show. So that's why I'm going with Monica. How is it that you want to say, well, I'm just thrown off about this? Baby, you didn't call her back. When you don't call me back, you've left the door open for me to walk in somebody else's door or my own.
Right.
You left that door open and you can't go off assumptions and feel like, well, this, we said X, Y, and Z, but nothing was confirmed. You didn't confirm anything. She didn't confirm anything. And then you presented the idea. She didn't present it to you. You the one who said, how about we do 1 day a week or Fridays and blah, blah, blah. You did that,
So as far as Bishop saying that Monica's not a great communicator, we would have to go ahead and say that she's not, because like I said, if it's business, you done had this channel, you done built it from the ground up, it's, you on the up and up. When she asked you that, all you had to say was, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to pay you for doing half the work. Maybe we can work something else out, or you can get me, or this is what I can offer you. That should have been Monica's response, and then it would have had shit out there. Because keep in mind, Monica, you are the boss. You make the boss. It's either you can or you can't. Because at the end of the day, even if you said you couldn't have, and she said, okay, well, I'm gone, baby, you could have found somebody else, and it didn't have to get to this point.
But the thing was, Monica wasn't thrown by her leaving. To me, it was made out to look like she just quit this day and we don't know what happened.
Right.
The girl gave you a 2 weeks notice. And this I guess my problem with Monica in this situation is, you could have, like you said, you could have dated it then. When she asked about pay, you should have been like, well, you know what? I think it is best that we'll just end it all together and be done with it.
Not even be done with it. Just explain to her how, no, I can't pay you for this.
Yeah.
So for XYZ, if you have somebody come in your house to clean up your house, and they tell you, well, I can't no longer clean your whole house, I'm just gonna clean your kitchen. Mm-hmm. But can I still get my same monthly rate just for cleaning the kitchen? Girl, no.
Can't do it. Yeah.
No. So,
but Monica put her own foot in her mouth, being, why even suggest this?
Monica suggested the 1 day, maybe she wanted to keep Ples.
But let me just go back to what I was saying yesterday. If I want to keep you as an employee, we work at McDonald's. Let's just call a thing. You my best employee, Ken, and you say, well, I'm ready to go over here to wherever you're going, and I'm making $15 an hour, and you making $13.50 over here with me. Mm-hmm. You my best employee. I like you. I think highly of you, and all these accolades you want to give her. But if I want you to stay, we already know that money talks and BS walks. Let's call a thing a thing.
I get what you're saying. Like, why not pay your best employee?
Thank you. Let me keep you from leaving.
I get that. So I guess in that aspect, we will never know. Well, I guess we kind of do know, because Monica don't want to pay her for half the work. So maybe she didn't think that highly of her from the jump.
And that's another thing. Keep it a buck, Monica. You had already came up. You said you had that thought in your head when she made that offer.
Right.
Girl, you could have texted her. If you didn't have the balls to say it on the phone, girl, as soon as y'all hung up, you could have texted her and said, well, you know what? I don't think that's probably going to work out as far as pay. Block. You could have deadened it literally, since especially you had the thought.
Right.
You already had the thought.
Right.
You could have deadened it then. But okay.
Now, what I want to, what has been a number one topic of discussion is if Ples is a real lawyer.
That is it.
Now, Monica and Dr. Griffin, they brought up a great, excellent point. Kind of shut me up for 5 seconds. When Monica explained that there was no contracts involved, and when she offered Ples the opportunity, Ples never mentioned any contract or agreement. She never mentioned any legal document. So what is your outlook on that? Because I mean, as a real lawyer, y'all kind of by the book, you about your paperwork, you want to get something in writing saying this lady gonna do XYZ, I'm gonna do XYZ, yada yada. So what do you think about that?
So again, I think they spent it to be in favor of Monica.
Okay.
Reason why I'm saying that is because a contract literally can be verbal just as much as a written contract. It goes both ways.
Okay.
So verbally, they came to an agreement verbally. That's established on both ends, on Monica end and on Ples end. I think where it gets a little dirty in the water is when Ples said that we don't have a contract. So because we don't have a contract, I can leave. I can do this. I could have just up and left you without anything. Ples said this, but no, me being professional, I'm giving you a 2 weeks notice because it's like a job and letting you know that I will no longer be a part of the panel. Right. I think they took it and spun it to be in favor of Monica. I don't think, in my opinion, this is just me. In my opinion, I don't think Ples was saying that she needed a contract. She talked about contracts and said that they both agreed that they need to put some things in writing. But as Monica wanted to debunk, but it keeps proving out that it's true, Monica, you never got around to it, which also means you're a bad communicator. No matter, you can keep saying you're not.
A bad communicator and a bad businesswoman, because
but you
Monica,
are.
Whether this lady was a real lawyer or not, sweetie, you've been 8 years in the game, so you claim you built yourself from the ground up. So you should already have paperwork.
Thank you. So just like they want to throw shots at Ples and say, well, if you're a lawyer, you would have already did this. Well, the same thing for the CEO and founder. You've been over here doing this for 8 years. Why don't you already have that in place?
Well, you know what? Everything that I, when I listened to this and I was like, oh, okay, they making some good points. They spun the narrative. You spinning it right back around for me. So we know that this whole interview, and we knew that, that this interview is going to be biased towards Monica. She's not going to go on here and talk about how she was wrong, and she's not.
Correct.
You know what? She didn't even talk about how her entire panel left her. What led up to that? Monica went on and on, and everybody went on and on about how Monica did so much for everybody, or how she was so sweet, or how she gave and gave, or how she would try to get players. What did she say? Sponsors and stuff. Like the day, and just going on about how sweet she was when she gave players the money. Now, what tripped me up is when they talked about the So Debonair situation. Now, with the So Debonair situation, they talked about how one night they were all on and they were drinking, and it got very uncomfortable because So Debonair looked at Ples or told Ples, you special, you different, He kind of brought her, shedded more light on her than everybody else. So I can see how that could bring upon jealousy in the group. That put the target on Ples's back. Now, let me ask you this. Before I say this, it was so disrespectful how they were calling Ples a fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
When Dr. Griffin said, so basically you brought a fan on your platform, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
What? Why? Because some drunk man saying that she's special and different than everybody else. How did that bring upon jealousy? It's because you guys were already seeing it. You guys were already seeing the comments. Not only were you seeing the comments, Monica, how dare you throw your mods under the bus and let the bus run over
Sure
by
did.
saying that they're the ones deleting the comments. It was just so much that shed light upon Monica's conniving and sneaky character. This whole interview, I was just oh my God.
And when they got on the comment section, I was like, so the answer is yes. Y'all deleting the comments. Just say yes. Don't try to wrap it up in this pretty fancy bow when we can use this Dollar Tree bag and be done.
And I'm gonna tell you this. As a member, I'm not a member, but if I was a member who was paying my money to be able to communicate with you guys, and you delete my comment, and I didn't send you, I don't care if I sent you $1.49.
Yeah.
And you delete because I said I like players.
So this is my issue with the whole comment so debonair princess schoolboy situation. So as far as what So Debonair said, I agree. I get that it can make some people feel some type of way, like, dang, I guess we scum on the bottom of the shoe, you know. I guess we ain't sitting up here. I get it. However, I don't feel like it's fair to hold players accountable for what somebody else said.
And then
she didn't. It wasn't like she put her own self on this pedestal and said these things. Somebody else said that. And if
even if he did say that, who is he for y'all to start gunning at her because he had an opinion?
Thank you. And because and then I think it was beginning to show in the comments. Of course, that's why they start deleting the comments. Because the viewers were seeing it as well. So again, why are you mad at players for what someone else has said? Players didn't say it.
She didn't say it.
She didn't say it.
You were already hating on her from the jump because of her credentials. That's why you're trying to say that they're not real and she's not a real lawyer. And
so I was really confused, and maybe you can help me out on this. Did I miss something in Players Live? Because they kept saying that Players was saying Monica didn't support her. They ran that narrative in the ground to me.
They did. I remember it was a situation on here where they said Players went to her channel and went live, and she only had like 15 people, and Monica told her, hey Players, if you ever go live, let me know so I can post it on my channel, whatever. She made herself seem like she was just the advocate for everybody. I don't remember in Players Live where she said Monica didn't support her.
I don't either.
It was really about the situation. So
and that was it. She really spoke about May 17th up until this very point.
Right.
That was it. Y'all are bringing up stuff.
Monica painted herself to be the mama bear, and everybody can come to
girl, when she said, I see them as my kids. Girl, these folks grown. Right. 40-something years old. What you mean?
Right. And
kids. I'm like,
that's what Dr. Griffin said. It's almost like you just, you letting Clay spread her wings and fly.
You the mama bear.
It was sickening to the point where you really think that you
are God. Just call it a thing.
And that you really
let's just call it thing a thing.
Like you really did something to these people. I get it. I get you. You're on your high horse or whatever. But you're not a Funky Dineva. You're not even a Tasha K. I don't. Monica.
So let's talk about the lipstick in Players.
Okay.
So that irritated me as well. and she spun it as if, and this how I took it. So we ain't got to agree on everything. We don't want to be like all about the tea.
Right.
So did Monica call players and say, girl, I want you to start wearing lipstick when you come out live?
I don't think
so. Pick really vibrant colors when you do it.
No. That's
okay.
That's something players probably did because Jay Lee does that on Jay Lee's Corner. She does that. Or she used to do that. When I first started watching her, she would wear different lipsticks and talk about her lipstick colors. I don't know if she do that no more because I catch some of her videos, but I'm not an avid viewer like I used to be.
Yeah.
But
so why was Monica making it seem as if she was the driving force behind
because
her lipstick?
Because she said she shedded light upon it.
But she was using other people's, she would say, this is Maybelline, this is MAC, this is Fenty, this is this. Mm-hmm. It wasn't her lipstick.
Her lipstick. I see what you're saying. And
so why
she
are
was
you
saying I was trying to drive it? She said I was trying to get her, what did she say, merch? And I was trying to get
and her marketing. This is marketing. She's marketing something
that
don't belong to her.
She said it was marketing just in case she wanted to start her own line. But did she come to you and tell you she wanted to start her own?
You see, and that's the thing that was making me mad with this. Okay, this will only make sense, Monica, if she did whip up a batch in her kitchen.
Yeah.
And she's wearing it, then that makes sense. And the only thing we waiting on is her to put it out on the shelf. Then Monica will have a valid point. Baby, she wearing Revlon and Fenty and Maybelline and MAC.
So if anything, she's getting Rihanna some sales.
Thank you.
Those other companies some sales.
Because when they ask, she'll say, I'm wearing Ruby Red by MAC. Oh, let me go get this Ruby Red by MAC.
And players ain't getting a dime from that.
Not a damn. Or Monica in that case.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't understand that whole scheme.
If anything, Monica probably was trying to get advertising for herself.
That?
Because, those companies, Monica is, of course, a Monica is bigger than a Players, So she could get advertising from them or, how you watch shows and they do ads.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or the podcast where they do ads, they get paid. So if anything, Monica, you probably trying to help yourself, girl.
That too. So the next question, what is usury?
I have no idea. I take to the moment she spoke those words. The moment she uttered usury.
Said it more than once.
Sounds like usury. And I said, sounds like what, girl?
That wasn't me. I said not usury.
Usury. Let me Google define usury.
Usury. Okay.
So is it usury?
I said that was very interesting.
So usury, the illegal action or practice of lending money at unreasonable high rates of interest. Don't sound like usury to me, girl.
So you use the word incorrectly.
But you got a PhD, Dr. Griffin.
And you got to be a lawyer. Oh, okay, girl. And you don't know the correct definition of usury?
Usury. When she said it, I was like, because they tried to spin this narrative that players was using Monica. Because they're looking at, now that you monetize and now that you got a little following, now you gone.
Oh, speaking of that, oh my God, let me make this card right here. Why did they harp on the part of, well, if God told you to leave, why you still here? Wait a minute. How many times have God spoke to us and we didn't move the first time?
Listen, I mean, God tell you, don't buy that car, don't buy that house, don't be with that man, don't be with that woman.
How many times? To me, that was an unnecessary dig. And when the so-called pastor, Dr. Griffin, said she must, I'm well within my soul. And if God tell me to move, I'll move. You're a whole lie.
Now,
You're lying.
Now they said that I don't watch one of them shows. They said she got something to do with Giselle Bryant's husband or ex-husband or
Potomac. Yeah.
Okay, so she got her own salaciousness going on. So I don't know. But yeah, she said when God tells me to leave a situation, I'm listening. And God could have told you don't come on here with this foolery. He probably did.
And when she said that, I was like, so that was an unnecessary dig. And whether you do this right now, you haven't always listened to God. And let's keep it 100. We ain't gonna turn this into no whole Bible study, spiritual situation. But let's just be for real. We've all have stopped and missed the mark.
Right.
Girl, don't get on here acting like you holier than thou.
Right.
Goodbye. No, ma'am, we're not doing that. Not doing it.
Now, what I want to discuss, Monica's on this whole hashtag protect the avatar. And she went on to talk about people who use the avatar. She brought up my girl, the Impressive channel. Impressive does not use an avatar, sweetie.
She just do voiceovers.
She does voiceovers. So that's a different thing. But for you to say that you use an avatar so you won't receive death threats.
But you're still receiving them.
Still receiving them.
Per your words, allegedly. She says she's receiving death threats. But what they got to do with you covering your face?
It makes no sense. She's telling me, I don't want to go outside. I would have to have security with me 24 hours a day. I don't want to live that life. Girl, do Tasha K have security with her 24/7?
And see, that was my thing. So I'm gonna say this. Do I think this woman's getting death threats? No.
No, I don't either.
I do not.
Because let her tell it. They send them to Monica Saul. They ain't sending them to you. They send them to the Bojangles lady. So
I can get that they're trolling. I give her that. I'm sure people are trolling. Death threats, I'm not willing to believe that.
She said
you said you the receipt.
She said somebody threatened to shoot her in the head and physically assault her child. Like she said.
But see, and let me say this: if someone said that, they was gonna say it regardless. It had nothing to do with the player situation. That's just my opinion. Because if anybody say that, they just evil in general. Right. It has nothing to do with players. That's just something they probably was gonna do regardless. And this, if that's what happened allegedly, then it just happened a little bit quicker and sooner than they probably anticipated.
Right.
Do you think she has a bipolar schizophrenia type situation? And let me say this, I'm not putting this on her, but the reason why I'm asking that question, because why are you going through so many links to cover up your camera? I covered it on my phone. I covered it on my laptop. I covered it on my...
She said, I'm trying to hide the avatar. Baby, if the video off like this, baby, I don't have the shades down in my house right now. The blinds open. Y'all, YouTube ain't outside.
I'm like, what? Monica, I don't get it. And when she said all of that, you know what? The next thought came to my head.
What?
Monica is not her real name.
Right. I know
Monica's not a real name.
We already know that. I know that's not her real name.
So if anybody's looking for Monica, stop, because you will never find her, because Monica is not her real name.
She is a whole, she living two separate lives.
Yes.
She's living two separate lives.
Yes.
I don't even think, I would even believe this. Her family doesn't even know that she does this.
Probably.
Her kids might. But her own, like she talks about her brother or whatever, they don't know that she's Monica all about the tea. Yeah,
and I agree with that, because, and the reason why I'm gonna say that I agree with that is because she was like, I don't even call my family. I just tell them happy Thanksgiving through a text. So either you're not cool with your family, or like you said, Nobody knows that you're doing this because somebody would have been spilled the tea by this point.
Right. And then they were talking about, well, I know we're going to talk about the Wiley situation. I don't know if he lied. He lied, and he was doing an interview with her. And,
he lied.
They were saying that, that wasn't her voice. Girl, I got a microphone in my house now that can change your voice. That probably ain't even her voice.
And that's not. And that's why I'm saying she's a whole troll within herself.
Right.
The avatar, the name, and even the voice. She's a whole troll herself.
Because that avatar is, I can guarantee that's not what she looked like.
It's not. So let's just go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you this kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary that a person would go through that great lengths to be somebody else. And I'm not trying to downplay or talk bad about nobody. She could be somebody who was teased all her life, don't have a life. She probably don't even have
catfish.
Yeah, exactly. She could be catfishing.
Yeah. So,
wait a minute. When she was talking about how y'all been eating out for me for the past 4 days.
That was the next thing I was about to say. You read my mind.
Yeah, you've been eating off Nick people for 8 years.
Thank you. So, girl, thank you for saying that because you literally, y'all, we in sync. We literally about to say the same thing. That was the next thing I was about to go to. Monica, how dare you say that we are monetizing off your pay? Baby, ain't this what you're doing with this whole T.I. and Tiny situation?
Yes. And
ain't that what you did with Apple Watts?
And the Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Love and Marriage Huntsville, Potomac, you're monetizing off of people pay.
And I'm going to tell you this, Monica Saul, a.k.a. Catfisher, we ain't monetized yet, so we ain't eating off you, baby.
Thank you. But even if we were, how dare you make it seem as if you don't do the same thing?
Right.
This is crazy to me. And then you had your puppet to say, well, you right, Monica. You don't make the news. We just reported. Trick, we doing the same thing. We didn't make the news. Same thing. We're reporting it. So
exactly.
How is that a thing for you? But we monetizing and eating off your plate.
Right.
Girl, are you freaking kidding? The contradiction from beginning
like I said, and like the title of this video says, she brought her amen corner with her.
That was it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Come on, girl. She wrote down what she wanted that lady to say. That's why she did this on her own platform. She wasn't doing this on nobody else's platform. So for anybody to even believe that Wiley did an interview with her, why would she give you that?
And here's another thing. This is what I found to be shocking as well. She talked about Toxic Diamond or whatever the case may be, whatever her name is. It was like, I don't know, we talked about, doing an interview like a Gail, what's Oprah's best friend name? Gail. Like a Gail interview, because I'm worthy of this. I'm breaking the internet. This is cinematic. Oh, okay. All right, whatever.
Girl, you didn't even have 1 million views.
Did not. So I'm like, what?
Does any of her videos ever get 1 million?
Never.
I'm gonna tell you who breaking the internet. That little boy Ryan, who my baby look at, he breaks the internet with his views.
Coco Millen breaks the internet.
You getting 70,000 people, and you think you're really doing something, and half these people are your panel's following, your ex-panel following, who wanted to hear how you was finna drag them through the mud. And I definitely want to speak on how she owned, like I said, she drug players, she brought up Bishop, but you just didn't hold yourself to any accountability. Like nobody, has you went on somebody else's platform, they would have asked you, well, what are you gonna do next? What's this? What's that? Why did this?
Thank you. So
it would have been a little bit more realistic had you would have put that in there.
And if you really want, and like you're saying that, if you really wanted a Gail interview, you would have went to someone that wasn't your friend and had a big following. You would have went to an amen corner.
Yeah.
You would have went to someone who don't, like you said, I don't know you,
but she didn't
follow you.
She didn't want a vetted interviewer
because
she knew the questions they would have asked, and they wouldn't have been on her side. Let's think about an interview with Melody Hope. Right. She didn't get Destiny to interview her. She got these other platforms. She went around to different platforms, and she knew what they were gonna ask.
And let's bring up Funky Dineva. She said herself that she started not to come because Funky didn't like her. He talked crazy about her.
When? I must have missed it. Funky
go back to that video. They both spoke about that. Both of them said that. But my point being is she did her little circuit and went around the corner. Or let's do one even better. Let's do Martell when he went on Steve Harvey show. I think Martell went on hoping to get some brownie points from Mr. Steve Harvey because he went through a divorce and everything. And it ended up not going the way he thought it was going to go. They didn't get off that man's neck at all.
Exactly.
And they told him, you ain't gonna come over here bashing her. We ain't doing it.
Right. And when you're in the wrong, Monica is wholeheartedly in the wrong. Like I said, she needed somebody to be in her corner. She played this to her advantage.
That was it.
Now let's talk about
wait, before we move it, one thing I want to say, just bring out a point. When she was talking about she was gonna do an interview with Toxic Diamond or whatever her name is, and that was my first time hearing it. So I'm sorry if you're listening, I mispronouncing your name, but and she was like, she sent her a text and said, oh, the live is ready to go, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, we ain't doing no live, but for you to turn around and do a live.
Right. And she said, we would did something pre-recorded, but we wouldn't did no live. You know why? Because you couldn't control her narrative. You can't control
another thing. But for you to turn around and do a freaking live.
On your own terms. On her own terms.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's all I want to point out. Go ahead, Ken. That was crazy.
Okay, so let's talk. And I'm saying this: the part with Wiley, I didn't see that till today because Monica, she prolonged. She was already 15 minutes late. I had cut it out. So when I went back and looked at other videos, that's when I knew that she brought Wiley on there. So again, she brought somebody else on there who has been an advocate for her throughout this whole thing.
So when I saw Wiley pop up, I said, oh, here she go putting the battery in somebody else's back now. It's not Schoolboy's Wiley. And he said all the things that she really want to say.
Yeah.
He said all the things that she really want to say. So of course, so she can still look like the quote unquote good girl. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna gaslight Wiley and let him say it.
Exactly.
And that's all that, in my opinion, is what happened. So I didn't like that part. And let me get on Wiley, but real quick. Let me get on him. The fact that you want to sit up here, and I'm gonna get on Wiley and Miss Usury. The fact that you want to sit up here and say, I don't know, no lawyer that's crying. She's a human at the end of the day. What are you talking about?
I saw the rabbit hole girl. She was like, at the end of the day, I want to talk to somebody who has feelings and emotions like me.
Thank you.
She was like, having tough skin is one thing, but at the end of the day, I need to know you're a human being.
So that means if you don't have any emotion and I'm your lawyer and I don't give a darn if you go to jail or not, all I want is your money. I don't want you.
Right. And why would you want to have a lawyer who has some compassion to what you were going through? Who's putting forth
really saying this?
Yeah, right. So I'm trying to think, what lawyer or TV lawyer that had like thick skin, or why would he even say that? Like,
and that's another thing. And you don't know what she practiced in. She could be a family lawyer.
Yeah.
I don't need to have tough skin to be there because I have compassion. I could be an entertainment lawyer. All I need to do is make sure our contract's in order. You paying her 10% like she's supposed to. Let's move on.
Know what kind of law she practiced.
Thank you. Now, if she a defense lawyer, then you maybe have an argument. You don't know what she practiced.
Right.
To come to that conclusion.
I know that Players doesn't have to do this, but I wish she would just shut all y'all up.
I wish she would too. I hope she comes back.
I wish she would just show her degree. I wish she would show us a blog of her going into the office and I just wish she would. I know you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody, but to shut up all the naysayers. Just show us your graduating class. Or because Players, I hate to say, I hope Players ain't no Kim Kardashian lawyer or one who went to school and never passed the bar.
Yeah. But I don't think that's the case with her. Because in her live, she said that if I ain't no lawyer, then where these monthly association fees coming from?
Yeah, I remember her saying that.
She said that. She said, oh, okay. And I think, but again, and let me get on Miss Usury when she was like, and if you want to play the role of a lawyer, but oh wait, I'm not discrediting her credentials, quote, end quote. But you are. You can't say this.
Can't air quote and say you're not.
But I ain't discrediting you. But you are. you are.
Just did. That I don't know. That we're gonna have to look her up because they only have a first name up there. But I need to see Dr. Griffin, PhD. I really need to see.
And that's another thing. As much as Wiley went in on Players about her credentials, why you had the same smoke for Dr. Griffin? Where her credentials at?
Because if you break it down, just like Monica brought Players on the platform, she brought Dr. Griffin on the platform. She should have fact checked both of these before she even went on her platform and said this lady was a lawyer. I mean, you know, I would hope, you know, I know it's not that kind of job, but you know, Monica, know who you got on your platform.
Yep.
Run a background check. You paying them.
Yep. Okay. So one last thing, and I hope we're not leaving anything out. One last thing is Monica kept saying, you do your live Players and you want to talk about all these grievances you have, and you never said anything to me. So I like to bring, when I say things, I like to do things from a realistic point of view. Mm-hmm. And Ken, how many jobs have you worked and you didn't like, and you didn't go to your supervisor and tell him or her?
Oh, right. Because you know what? I have not liked jobs, but I'm not going to complain about my job to the supervisor.
Thank you. So the fact that Monica said this proves no point. And I get what she's saying. And maybe she's probably trying to come from a place of we're a more relaxed environment.
Right.
Let's look at it from this way. And most people look at their job this way. I ain't here to make no friends. I'm coming here to do these 8 hours and take my butt home. We may kiki and do this in between time and in the meantime. But when 4 o'clock hit, I'm gone.
Right. You know what? Tasha K, she spoke about this. You know, I saw it on a video that somebody had posted in their video. And she said she asked Monica, why do you have a panel? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can do this, you know, by yourself. Like, why are you even putting yourself through this? And if they're not doing what you need them to do, get rid of them. Mm-hmm. But see, Tasha, I don't think you understand because you're looking at it from a friend standpoint. This lady can't carry a show by herself. She can't. As you stated, she's done it before by herself. It must have didn't get nowhere, baby.
But that's why she had to revamp. So we said this yesterday. Or Monday, whatever day we did the video, we both have our own businesses that we're literally trying to get off the ground. We have our hands in a lot of pots. We try to get this off the ground and our own separate entity. If something isn't working, what we do?
You get rid of
Let me rework it.
Well, yeah, you rework it, but if it's not working, you get rid of it. I recently had to get rid of the main product that I was doing in my business because the next thing that I started doing was doing better than, the original. So,
right.
You have to go back to the drawing board and then
see
what's working, what's not working. I mean, that's business.
Correct. So
no matter how you feel about it, no matter.
So yes, we'll agree with you, Monica. You had a following. You already had a tribe and people watching you, and your name is being dropped here and there. This is true. Breakfast Club didn't drop your name until that episode happened between on Potomac.
Yeah,
which happened last year.
Come on, research.
Come on, because I'm a Potomac fan and I'm a Breakfast Club fan.
Right.
Charlamagne didn't drop your name until the Potomac situation happened.
Right. It's not like they just going to you for the facts.
Thank you. I'm not a vivid Wendy Williams watcher, so I'm not going to speak on as to when she did, but I can definitely say I know when Charlamagne dropped your name.
Right.
Now, that is not to belittle you because it's still a huge accomplishment. Kudos to you.
Right.
But your panel is where you at now. It's your panel.
It's where you dependent on now. And for you to get on here and say, you took your subscribers and fans and you put them on your panel, you gave them a platform because, as you know, it takes years before you can even get some subscribers, before you can get 1,000 subscribers. You went on and on like you really, girl, they don't have 1 million views. They don't have 1 million followers.
They don't. That's what I brought up yesterday. They went out and you can't have it both ways. You can't say, yes, I'm encouraging them to go do this. And then in the next breath, you're going to say, but it was usury. What?
It was usury.
It was usury. How are you saying that I'm encouraging them to go get a YouTube video? And I mean, YouTube channel and this, and this.
She said Pledge didn't have a channel before she got up there with her. And so I guess, according to her,
let's say that is true. Okay, forget it. Let's take Monica at her word and say that's true. All right. How to the ever, you are the one who promoted, pushed for her to go and start her channel. She started a channel and you mad? Right. She get monetized and you mad?
You mad. Because how many people do you know that uses jobs as a stepping stone till they get to the next level?
You that part.
Because if your business was to get 500, 600 orders tomorrow, are you going to your job? I mean, if you start taking off, you got your next level, are you going to,
why I'm staying here?
Exactly.
Why am I staying?
I'm going to tell you this. If I got 500 orders tonight, I'm probably going to call in tomorrow.
And she said she was a marketing, whatever her title was. She was in corporate.
Yep, that's what she said.
Okay, everybody started entry level. Nobody, not even a doctor, not a lawyer.
Right.
I don't know what your big time
even the doctor is. Starts as residents.
Thank you. Everybody has an entry level.
Right.
So even if you came in under NBC and working in their marketing and you left to go to Fox, you use NBC and where you got there to get up to the supervisor position and coach.
Thank you.
Come on. Monica, we ain't finna play this game. Do you think we dumb as a box of rocks?
So even if it could be a situation where players had no intentions of starting a YouTube channel. She just enjoyed watching y'all and she wanted to be a part of the panel. But once she saw where it could go, once other people said, girl, you can have your own channel, it's letting her see the light of what it could be.
And I don't like, even though they didn't use these words, they was alluding to it. and saying that you made them who they are today.
Right.
And just like Miss Usury want to say, she did the Bible scripture,
who cast first stone.
no, she did another one. Whatever she used, I can't remember the Bible scripture, but anyway, whatever that Bible scripture she used, pretty much alluding to the fact that what God has for you is for you. Can't nobody take your blah blah blah. Okay, right. Well, that's the same thing for players. How was, and that's why I felt like this whole thing was a freaking contradiction. How was everything is okay for you and it stands for you, but it doesn't for anybody else?
Exactly.
It don't make sense. It works for you, don't work for her. She can't have the same blessing. What?
This whole interview was some nonsense. I knew it was going to be some nonsense when it didn't start on time. I knew that it was going to be some nonsense when Monica waited 4 days to get her stuff across. I just knew it. You know, Monica.
Yeah. It was crazy.
You were not held accountable, because if you was a real one, Monica, you'd have let somebody else interview you.
Yeah. Or you could have did this, because you need somebody to back you up. You can't hold nothing on your own. So you're proving this point. You can't hold nothing on your own. If you wanted to get your story out, baby, you could have went on live by yourself on your channel and stated your piece.
You remember when Funky Dineva and ATLM was going back and forth, you know, he went and he went on Tasha K, because even on him and Tasha K's friends, she gonna ask you what she wants to know.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things with her. It's like, yeah, we cool now, because she said it. She said she'll butter you up, be nice to you. But when it's time to get down to business, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna ask the questions that everybody.
I'm gonna do my job.
This is my job. And
I'm gonna do my job.
Everybody here wanted to hear the truth. You fed us some BS about how you the angels sent from above and how everybody else is devils, and making you seem like you the bad guy. And then for her to say, Bishop said, I'm so nice because he was talking about how something about his weight, and she said he's not fat. He's not fat. He's fluffy.
But you know what though, Ken? I'm gonna say this. I think that she needed, which we've already established, she needed an amen corner. But I think she also needed to feel validated.
Okay, I can see that.
And nothing else comes better in validation without somebody giving you some praise and saying, hey, this is good.
I'm gonna tell you something else too. She had to go on here and talk about how she uplifted these people, because when it's time for her to pick her next panel, she don't want them they judgments be clouded and thinking how she's such a bad person. She's like, look what I did. I did this. So people can
but you know what though? What? I'm gonna tell you why I take a problem with that. Because you can't use that as a good thing and use it against them at the same time. If you just this loving, sweet, nice person that you're proclaiming to be, then be that. Don't bash them and say, and I gave you your following, and if it wasn't for me, if you in this game to really and truly help people, you ain't got to add extra stuff on it. Your last word should be, I gave a platform, I did my job, we on to the next.
Because she said, I think she said the Soul Debonair guy asked her, could she be his mentor or something? And I think she said, yeah, whatever. And Tasha K says, I tell a person now, because that's a job in itself.
Yeah, and it is.
And I ain't got the time.
And it is. And my thing is, but you can't say that you this nice person. That's just like saying, I give every homeless person I see, I give $5. But then when they ask me for 10, I'm be like, you can't ask me for no $10. I gave you. If you're doing it at the kindness of your heart,
or you go behind their back and say these big and folks always big.
Thank you. You can't do that. That don't make sense, Monica. If this is who you are by nature, which I don't believe, let me definitely say this. Me personally, I don't believe this facade that you're trying to make everybody believe that you are, because if this was really truly who you are by nature, the extra added stuff on the end won't be there, and your minions wouldn't say these things as if you gave them a platform and they ungrateful, and I don't know why you even talking about these ungrateful people. Those are your words, Monica, sorry. And you brought them on there because you want them to say those things. A real person not going to say this. And even as a pastor, because now I'm on my soapbox, and even as a pastor, she should have even stopped you and said, wait a minute, Monica, let's not act like that. God and Jesus don't act like that. He blessed the just as well as he does the unjust.
Right.
So if he can do it, and we know we ain't God, so what are you talking about? You pump your brakes. If this was what you was doing at the kindness of your heart, then let it be done at the kindness of your heart. Don't add this extra bull crap on the end. But no, pastor want to be shady, and y'all have the nerve to talk about the bishop. Girl, Miss Usury, sit down somewhere. Goodbye.
I really wish she would have spoken about the rest of the panel.
Well, she said that they didn't quit, they didn't leave, so she don't know why Schoolboy said that. As far as Marcella and Schoolboy.
Oh, see, that's a lie.
He's per Monica. She said that not Schoolboy, that Bishop lied, and Schoolboy did not leave, and Marcella did not leave. Per Monica.
When did she? Because like I said, I cut it off. Did she say when she was gonna be back?
So she did. So now we're at the end of the interview, and she brought on Wiley, and then she also brought on a lady named Heidi. So when she brought them on, I said, oh, she revealed her new panel.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. She has revealed her new panel and just snuck in there just to see how the people will probably, receive them. Yeah. So you have Heidi, you have Wiley, and maybe the usury lady. So you have them three.
And you know what? That's crazy you said that, because I had a lawyer. Yeah. Now I'm going to get a doctor, I guess. So she needs somebody of with some educational background, with a title. She needs that. Yep. There you go.
And I was like, she revealed her panel. Slick. She also said that she's going to start doing things more solo now.
Girl, what?
That's what she said. But I think that she have heard the grievance, since she like to use their words so much, of the YouTubers and commenters and viewers and all of that, because the thing do remain. You are popular because of a panel, not because of Monica.
Right. And when
if Tasha K told you this, it has to sink in.
Right. When you think about All About the Tea, you think about the panel.
You're thinking about the panel.
You're not just thinking about Monica.
You're not. You're thinking about the panel.
If I'm looking at Funky Diva, there's nobody going to be on there with him.
No.
If you look at ATL, I don't look at her, but I'm pretty sure she's on there by herself.
She's by herself. ATL is by herself. Funky Diva, Tasha, DJ Richie Sky, Impressive. Since you wanted to bring her up, she's by herself.
They have to time with Candace by themselves.
Jaybird.
Jay Lee,
and even herself. Though they have a panel, she kept it 100. We do this once a week.
Yep.
We ain't doing this every day.
We're not doing this every day, and everybody's got their own channel. They was already established.
They already established.
We was already established, and we said, "Well, let's come," because I feel like with that, they're helping each other. I'm bringing your people over here, your people over here. We come together once a week for some girl talk, and we go on. We do our own stuff
and move on.
Yep,
that's it. It was crazy.
So Monica, you can take heat from there. You can't overwork, baby. You can't.
And one thing. I want to say this about Monica, because Monica said that players tried to ruin her reputation.
Oh, God.
When she went and did the video. I'm going to end it with this, because I'm going to get up off Monica. And I'm gonna say this, Monica, you started the fight.
Yeah.
You started the fight. That girl did a 12-minute video. Because I was waiting on Pastor to say, well, when she did the video, why didn't you call her then? Yeah. When she did the 12-minute video, why you didn't text her then? But instead, you went to your platform and started the shit storm. You did that.
Yeah.
So that's not fair to put this on this woman. You started this fire. So how can you say that she's ruining your reputation when you went live?
Or are you trying to ruin hers?
That part. Come on, Monica. You got on YouTube with your panel, added 2 more people so they can gang up on players.
Yep.
And you said, oh, we're going to discuss the YouTube drama today, or whatever the word she said. Yeah. You did that. You can't throw a rock and hide your hand. And that's what you did. And now and because you're getting so much backlash off of this, because you thought, in my opinion, I think Monica really thought when she did this live, because she is the face, well, the avatar of the channel, that more people was going to side with her. And I also think because she did have a following, my 700,000 subs gonna roll with me. They ain't gonna roll with players. But again, I said at the beginning, you showed your hand. You messed yourself up. This all could have been avoided. You went on live. If you was that messed up, like you said, and really considered yourself a family, like you said, if Ken made a video right now, I'm not going on YouTube. I'm calling her. What you doing?
Right.
What girl, is this?
What is this? What is up? Let's talk, girl. Girl, take that down.
Thank you. But you didn't do that. You didn't do it. And then you want
to we forgot to say this. I don't know what happened where Monica was like, girl, you know, I didn't get a chance to announce that you was leaving, but she said I didn't get a chance to announce she was leaving, but I'm gonna say it and such and such and such. And I guess she never got around to it. So Players took it upon herself to tell the people she was leaving. Oh, and also it was a lot. And I didn't write stuff down. You know, Monica was like, they definitely knew about the topic offhand before we got on there. Monica, they all said that they didn't.
All of them said the same thing. And then she said 2 hours. So let's break down. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say she really did give it to him in 2 hours. Right. If we say I'm gonna go in on at 7, we going on live at 7 o'clock. If I get off at 5 o'clock, you telling me you just sent it to me at 5. I got to get off work, go home, use the bathroom, fix me something to eat real quick. Do all of this, and now I got this. You telling them that you sending them 2 hours ahead of time, in my opinion, still isn't enough time.
It's not enough time.
It's not.
Because the thing about this, Monica, you don't have a normal 9 to 5, so you can scroll the YouTube and internet streets and figure out what's going on right now
all day.
And by 10 a.m. you can let me know what's going on, so I can prepare for the whole day. And that
lets you know that it's not enough time. Reason being, if I get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and I don't see you done to 5 o'clock, so you telling me you had 10 to 5 to get all your ducks in a row,
right?
And all I got is 2 hours to get mine in a row.
Like we said on our channel, we discussed in advance what we're going to talk about. And we give each other enough time to go look at the stuff if you want to look at it, you know, or write your notes for what you want to do. But I can't get off at 6:30 and you just told me at 6, oh, we're going to talk about this, and I don't have a clue.
Thank you. And it don't work that way. I know it sounded good for her to say, oh, that's a lie. And I gave them a 2-hour window. I know that sounds good because to the outside looking in, you can't be like, well, oh, yeah, that is enough notice. But not if I got 9 to 5.
Well, not if I got off work and I got to, you know, get rid of that, get that off my body for the day. And like you said, come home, probably shower because you gonna keep me on here till midnight. So when I get off of here, I want to make sure I didn't ate and shower. So all I gotta do is go lay in the bed. I mean,
and let's not forget the fact if I need to go to the grocery store, let me stop by Target because I'm out of soap and toothpaste.
Right,
like, come on.
Right.
2 hours still isn't enough time. And if you sit, and my thing is, if you found this at 10 o'clock, at least by 12 o'clock noon, y'all, this is what we're going to talk about.
Now, I came on here today thinking I was about to give Monica the benefit of the doubt, but Monica, once again, I can't help you, girl.
Yeah.
You were in the wrong, Monica. You're in the wrong.
You were in the wrong. You played it wrong. The whole we eating off of you thing and breaking the internet, that blew my mind. The whole bashing that you did on players.
That lets you know how cocky she is. That lets you know she's not humble. That lets you know that she really thinks that she's making these people and she's making their career.
Yeah. This was really telling about you, Monica. Yes. I think you came out here to help you, but in my opinion, I wish you would have stayed silent now because I feel like you made it worse.
And I really feel bad for people like, Wiley and this new girl who think that their situation is going to be different because
it is not. It's not. And Wiley is soaking up all of this. And and it's so funny that she sit up here and said, y'all eating off of me, and Wiley reported on it. So what he doing?
He's eating off you too. He's brilliant. Now I bet you he got a lot to say because he was on the panel. And I'm gonna tell you this: players didn't last 5 months. We're gonna see how long Mr. Wiley lasts.
That part.
We'll be back again in 5 months.
We'll be back again. We'll be back again.
With different characters using the same avatar.
And Monica, I know you ain't listening to us because we a baby fish. We're a little goldfish. We ain't made it yet.
We're the little people.
We're the little bitty boat. But I will say this. Monica heard the people.
Yeah.
And if you was a real CEO and founder and boss, like you say you were, you would have made the necessary changes. Yeah. And let's look at our climate in our world today. It don't matter what grievance that the world gives that is going on with with a company. Like we can use Black people and we can say, y'all ain't got nobody up in here Black. And we protest and we doing this. And then the CEO of Macy's come and say, you right. We don't have anything. We heard you. We're finna go to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that thank you. Monica, you didn't do that. You didn't do it, Monica. So you're not that much of a CEO and founder and a boss as you want you and your puppets to hype you up as. Because if you were, you would have bite the bullet and humble yourself and say, I heard y'all. You right. I could have handled this differently. And if you wanted to throw it on her, we both could have handled this differently.
Right.
I shouldn't have did this. You're right. My first mistake was going on live and doing this because I could have called her back as soon as somebody told me about the video, but you didn't do it.
You didn't do that.
You didn't do it.
You was ready now. That was your ammunition.
Thank you. So to say that you're not jealous of players, well, obviously you are because you had your gun locked and loaded and you was ready to shoot.
I'm gonna tell Dr. Griffin this. You see how she discrediting players. We're going to be talking about you in 3 months, asking if their PhD real.
That part.
We're going to be
asking. Y'all, we harped on her long enough. This may be our last video for Monica unless the panel come out and give us some receipts to debunk everything that she's saying. One last thing as far as debunking, because I think Monica said that, we were talking, my number is this and we wouldn't call and blah, blah, blah. And let's go back. So I think that they will turn players' words around and in favor of Monica. Players said, yes, we did talk on Instagram, on a group chat. That was about work. that was about YouTube stuff. There was this. So she said she took it as that was just our
work stuff.
Yeah, just work stuff. Yeah, we laughed and had fun about it. She said, but ain't nobody called to ask me how your day going.
Exactly.
What you doing? And that's what players were saying. And if Monica is going through this great lengths to hide her identity by covering up all of her cameras, do y'all really think this girl has gave them folks her real phone number?
No, they're using and I think we mentioned this, they're using a WhatsApp number. They're using a Google number. That's not that lady's number. That lady got a track phone. And like you said, her name ain't Monica.
Her name isn't Monica. She's not giving you.
She probably Betty somewhere. You know, it's just...
She's not, y'all don't even have her real cell phone number. So like you said, when she's calling you, she's using a Google number.
The Google number. And they ain't came out and said that, but I know.
But you know it is. I can look up a number right now. If I call you, it says Rashonda Stokes.
Right.
Marla Stokes. If I call a landline, you got, that's what I mean. And you have.
Oh, yeah. My landline is in my husband's name.
His name is going to come up.
It's registered.
It's going to come up. So if she's going through this much to hide her identity, do y'all really think she gave them folks her cell phone number? Monica's a liar. I'm sorry. She's a liar. She's trying to make it seem like they are this and they talked and they did, but you didn't, because they don't even have your phone number.
No, they don't.
They don't have your number. And it's sad. I don't think that she will lose anything from this. I think I've said that before. I've said that then.
No.
She won't lose anything from this.
She has a lot of yes men in her corner. And she has a lot of people.
She do.
Ready to take their spot. So
yeah.
Monica the Avatar will live on. We will be seeing more of the Avatar.
Mm-hmm. But, and let me say this, and we're done. I know I said this for the last 10 minutes, but I'm for real this time. I got hungry. I'm gonna say this. Ples never said, I hope her channel burn and crash and everybody leaves. She never said that.
Oh, Jesus.
So I don't understand why the bashing was happening.
Yeah.
And making it seem like your reputation is being ruined, and making it seem like that people want to see you fail, because no one has wished ill will on you outside of the quote unquote trolls. But your panel hasn't wished any ill will on you, and neither have we.
If anything, Monica has probably wished ill will on the panel.
And she does. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't have done this bashing thing. You wouldn't be trying to question her credentials. You wouldn't be trying to say that she the one who started all this mess. You wouldn't have did this. So we'll continue to watch. I ain't got no more. I'm hungry. What you got, kid?
That's all I got, you guys. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. Go ahead and drop down in the comments below. Let us know what you think, your opinions. Are you on Monica's side? Are you on Play's side? And always remember to hit that notification bell so you can know when we're going live. We're gonna watch this Phelan interview. Phelan, whatever her name is.
Not Phelan.
I don't know what I was looking at. Somebody called her Phelan. It's spelled like Phelan. It's because on the documents it's spelled Faline. So you know how folks change their name when they want, they don't,
Yeah.
So we're gonna come to you guys with that video. I don't know when, maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
Because Monica done, ran my pressure up.
Child, we tired.
We done talked about Monica for 3 days straight.
3 days straight. We tired. We done gave her enough,
Yeah, so thank you guys. And we will see you guys, or you will hear us next time, because we will not be showing our faces.
We're going to take on the avatars. Like she said, save the avatar. What's her hashtag?
Protect the avatar.
Protect the avatar. There you go. We're going to protect the avatar, y'all.
just gonna hear our voice. It's our real voice. And if you dig deep and look back into our other videos, you see us.
You'll see what we look like.
But that's it, y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, y'all. Bye.